Okay, very well. Okay, so Baruch Hashem, it's a regendike Nacht, and Erev Shvat. I just said over before we started this week. I said, "Sedo Adim mizok by benching Rosh Chodesh mizokt hier mizok mebet teibishte Yirotson shet Chadish Aleinu es Chodesh Azel Tevel Avrocha Chaim shel Yirah Shamayim." And the Welt fragt, "Favor später sagt man Chaim shel Ahavas Torah v'Yirah Shamayim?" We already asked for Yirah Shamayim. What's Ahavas Torah v'Yirah Shamayim? Now the pshat is, in der Woch's Parsha steht, so when Yirah Shamayim by the Borod, and there were those who were loisam liboy lidvar Hashem. So they say over from Rabbi Yerucham, the Mira Mashkiach. Today was Rabbi Leib Malon's Yortzeit, the Talmud from Rabbi Yerucham. He said over in the name of Rabbi Yerucham, Asher loisam liboy, das is the siba for Nish Yirah Shamayim. When a person sees the world and thinks about it, memele he gets Yirah Shamayim. When a person doesn't think, and wird metushtish, and wird distracted, and he can't think straight, then memele can nicht haben Yirah Shamayim. Aber getracht, das the pshat Ahavas Torah v'Yirah Shamayim. People who understand that I'm a yakka limud HaTorah, have Ahavas HaTorah, they could have Yirah Shamayim. They learn how to look at the world, they learn how to think, they learn how to be, how to take priority in was metut. And then memele sedoa vazundere Yirah Shamayim from Ahavas Torah v'Yirah Shamayim. So able to come to learn, we're able to hear Pulpula Deraisa. So we're asking the Eibishter should give us Chaim Shetei Banu Ahavas Torah v'Yirah Shamayim. So it's my schus. I want to ask Yedidi, the Rosh Hashiva of the Cheder, our Gutfreund Shlita, for a few.
Ik maak hem dat in de Rav zijn gezond is met te speak. So, het middel des man had toen zich een andere union met bevraagd van de besmedders. See from the Bochum that come from this besmedders. Ze zijn allemaal modem. Ze kennen, they know the raid. So, ze zoeken op Sachidisch. Ze zag schwer. We zochten ze even meisen from Chaskla Bramsky one time by the Biskarov. And Biskarov asked him what he's saying Shiur. He says, I'm saying Shiur and alles. He says, das ist gewaltig. So he said, what's gewaltig? He says, I'm saying Shiur and alles, kann man nicht besorgen der Rasch. And that's the Chiddush. The Chiddush is the Rasch. He says, I'm saying Shiur, but I say something. Ich darf so viel sagen, say something. Das ist schwer. To say something for this oilum, das ist schwer. Der Eber soll helfen, am Siyata de Shmaya. Schwere Geschichte in der Rishonim over here. So, bis Leute arbeiten an der Kude. The Mishnah, wir hier in der Kopf mit Beis, the Mishnah, kol ha-yoim kosher l'kriyas ha-megillah, l'kriyas ha-halal, l'tkiyas ha-shefer, l'tilas lulav, l'tilas ha-musafim, l'musafim, l'vidi ha-porim, l'vidi meiser, l'vidi ha-makipurim, l'smicha, l'shchita, l'tnufa, l'hagosha, l'kmitza, l'aktor, l'malika, l'kabala, l'hazoya, l'ashkayasoyte, l'aglarufa, l'tairis ha-matzoyra. Alle die Sachen sind in Kosher, kol ha-yoim. Kol ha-laila is Kosher l'ktzira ha-soimer, u'l'hektech loven v'eivarim. That's kol ha-laila. Mishnah zeh ha-klal, dover she-mitzvose b'yoim, Kosher kol ha-yoim, dover she-mitzvose b'laila is Kosher kol ha-laila. That's the klal. Whatever is Kosher b'yoim is Kosher kol ha-yoim, whatever is Kosher b'laila is Kosher kol ha-laila. Is the Gemara, in Menachas Tafayin Beis Amar Aleph, the Gemara says, that azoi vi the erste chelik von der klal da was mit zwas bei yom is kosher kol hayoim is bei yom dafke. You can't have any avoidance in the Beis Hamikdash balayla. It's who adin when the Mishnah says da was mit zwas balayla is kosher kol halayla is balayla dafke. Meiluk tzira soimer is kosher balayla dafke. It's not kosher by yom. You have to be koytz da yom balayla. Koyach dem Tosis brings down B'Shem Rabbeinu Tam. Ha'imir Rabbeinu Tam, Shem Shochach Levorach Balayla, Levorach Bayoim. Someone didn't do Sfiras Hayim Balayla, he can't do it the next day. That didn't Geboit, the Gemara In Menachos Taf Samach Vav, the Gemara says that Pasuk steht, Svat am Chami Mochres HaShabbos, Yom HaVyachim Asayim Ratnu for Sheva Shabbos is Timim is Tiena, Ad im Mochres HaShabbos, Ashvi is Tisperu Chamishim Yoim. The Gemara says, Yom HaVyachim Tisperu, and there lotion that Yom HaVyachim Tisperu should start counting, Yochel Yiktzer V'Yovi, he should cut the Oimer, should bring the Oimer, V'Eimatzai Sheyirtze Yisper. Means you can't start before that. But once you bring the Oimer, you could start counting the Oimer. You can start the next day also. It's not a rush to start that day exactly. Talmud Loima, steht in Pasuk, Mihochel Chomish Bakoma Tochel Lisper. You have to do it b'shas the Ktsira, from the Ktsira. So the Gemara, Mihochel Chomish Tochel Lisper, Yochel Yiktzer, V'Yisper, V'Eimasai Shayirtze Yovi. You have to cut it and start counting, but you bring the Oimer whenever you want. Talmud Loima Miyom HaVyachim. The day that you're bringing, it has to be that day. The Gemara, if it would just say the pasuk Yom HaVyachim, I would think Yochel Yiktzer V'Yisper V'Yovi Bayoim. You can do everything by Yoim. Talmud Loima Sheva Shabbos is Temima is Tiyena. Amos at the Moitza Sheva Shabbos is Temimis. When you find 7 full weeks, when you start counting by night, then you end up with full weeks. So the Gemara Yochel Yiktzer V'Yovi V'Yisper, everything should be by night. Talmud Loima Yom HaVyachim. Hoketzat Ktsira Svira Balayla V'Hava Bayoim. Mordechai is that the Ktsira and the Svira should be by night, and the Hava is by Yoim. It's Toivsvis, when the time this Gemara says that Rebazoi, just like the Ktsira HaOmer has to be dafke by night, is Huadin, the Svira HaOmer has to be dafke by night. Someone wasn't Sefer Balayla, he can make Svira by day. So Toivsvis can mash from behind Stoma, the Mas Nisan. As if the Stomas from this Mishnah, the Mishnah says, Klal, Kol Shemitzvasi B'Yom, Kosher Kol HaYoim, Dover Shemitzvasi B'Layla is Kosher Kol HaLayla, is Mashmas Kosher Kol HaLayla, and man is like the Gemara's Medayik in Menachos Taf Ayin Beis. Like to Taisvis, Nehi, the Ika Stoma de Menachos, the another Stoma in Menachos Taf Ayin Aleph Amar Aleph, over there it says in the Mishnah, Niktzer B'Yoim, Kosher B'Di'evet, Mikol Makoim, Stoma de Hocha Adifa. Taisvis learns up to Machloikis Mishnayis. The Stoma of this Mishnah is Ktsir is Dafka Balayla. The Stoma of that Mishnah is that B'Di'evet it's Kosher B'Yoim. So the Stoma de Hocha Adifa. This Stoma is a better Stoma. So we should follow sich more on this Stoma. Why? The Hoktoni Lo Gabi Hilchas Psikta, the Din. This Mishnah is saying a list of all dinim that Allah is psukis. So we go back to this Mishnah. Va'oid ne gesagt Taisvis. Da viele man der Machsche Ktsir sein bei Yoim B'Di'evet, Moidu Gabi Svira de ein Levorich bei Yoim, Mishum de Shinol of Kosav La'akev. The Chsiv Tmimos, the Drasha from Tmimos, teaches us that we have to do it at night. It's a mele, even if for some reason they can do Ktsir by Yoim, but the Svira has to be by Laila. V'yata Moitze Tmimos Ela Kashata Moine by Laila. V'chein Kosav Alochas Atzeres. This shit is a man at time. Like to Taisiv, so Bahag Kosav, Tehecho de Inchi. Tehecho de Inchi. Vergessen levorich balayla. Yimne lemocher b'loi bracha. If he forgot by night, he should count the following day b'loi bracha. V'chein halacha zok Taisvis. The Bahag holds that if you didn't do it at night, you should count the next day b'loi bracha. V'chein halacha. Like to the Benetam. Aval im shochach laila v'yoim. If you missed the night and the day, lo yimne oid bracha. The bina tamim is v'leka. You can't do weiter bebracha because you're missing a full day. And Tmimis is mechayev to have complete the whole mispar of this Chamishim Yom, all 50 days. Remember, you have to do it a kapanim by day. Hot something. If you miss a full day, you don't have Tmimis. His Taisvis in Samach Vav in Menachos is Matmiyah on this sheet as a Bahag, and he says, I don't know where this comes from. And Avad, if you miss a day, you should mamshech the next day. And Machloikis Benetam and the Bahag about that. But the Shail is in the sheet as a Bahag itself. The sheet is a Bahag that holds that if you missed by night, you do the following day below bracha. Where does that come from? Is Toisvis in Menachos Vav Medalef assumes that the Bahag paskins like the Stoma in Menachos. That over there it says that if you missed by night, you can do by day b'di'evet. As a mele, who adin over here do b'di'evet? The Shail is, why don't you make a bracha? Why don't you make a bracha? If you could do it by day and you're still makayim the mitzvah b'di'evet, so why don't you make a bracha by day?
Tais Menachos, the Bahag says without a bracha.
It doesn't say. It doesn't discuss the bracha.
Tais would hold that later Bahag you would make a bracha.
Du machst a Tais wissen denn.
Then it's Machlekes and Tais.
Das stimmt schon falsch.
Tais is nicht kein bracha in
But he doesn't say anything. So the assumption is that it's nicht gemacht leukes. It's well Bahag. He's saying that's the makar. That's the makar.
You don't make a bracha.
Passt das.
Yeah.
Das hege der Sache listen belaile passt Bahag Sefer Bayom. Geen in nirgends tegen stamas nis. Doesn't say about a bracha. Passt von nicht gewen als a machlekes wir schein. Machlekes that is what the Bahag holds in that. Is the skabov pshat. I think it's a schwer pshat, but there's state in all the poskim. Machaber paskins like this halacha, shachach v'lei birich kol halayla, yisuf b'yom b'lei bracha. You should do by day without a bracha. Is the Mishnah Bruder, that's in Gebet in the Pri Chodosh, also reads the same thing. Says, what's the pshat in this halacha that you do b'lei bracha? Sagt die Eichlochus das apoiskim, the einsman svir el balayla. You have to be choishish for the benetam. Ukashme varach by yom levatala. Miu sagt mi kan labo sefer b'chol layla bebracha. Mi kan labo, you can keep on going bebracha. But the havi kedili gemechad lagamri, shene sefer de bracha kedil kamei. You could the following day you can still make a bracha. And he says kedil kamei. What does it mean kedil kamei? The next halacha says in the Machaber that if you have a sofik, if you made a bracha, if you have a sofik, if you said svira one day, the following day you can make a bracha. Why? It's all gebait from the Trumas Hadeshen. He says it's a svek. One sofik if you sell svira. And even on the side that you didn't sell svira, maybe the halacha is like a bit of time that every single day is a eigen mitzvah. And the middle of the following day, you're able to make a bracha and go weiter. So Pashtas, this halacha, what the Mishnah Berurah is telling to, is saying that if somebody sailed by day, the chasvek sveika. There's one suffix if by day is the mitzvah. And even if it's not a mitzvah, maybe the halacha is like a benutam, that maybe mikan lahaba, you could make a bracha anyway, because it's a separate mitzvah. It's a separate mitzvah. Nor the emes the Trumas Hadeshen, well, this is the Makar Advarim. He reads it always, the way he reads it always. When he is in the Shaila, in Safik La'echot, in Safa Laila Achas Samlav, Heich Yasam Mikan Ve'elech, if he has a suffix, Zok Tegire, the Yisma B'Bracha Mikan La'ala. V'loi Miboye, he reads always, V'loi Miboye, Im Niskis Ve'kasi Be'yoy Mahu, Shaz V'adei Tzorech Lisper Be'yoy B'lei Bracha Mitech HaSafik. If you remember the following day, he definitely has to sell Sfiras Oimer. V'shuv Yisper B'shar Aleil Zabrachis, V'hochi Nehigin Afilu B'vadei Shochach B'layla Lisper, V'seifer B'yom B'lei Bracha, Seifer Shuv B'bracha, De Mikri Shapir Tmimos, Hoyel V'loi Dileg Yemechad L'gamri. So Trumas Hadeshen, that the reason why the following day you're able to make a bracha is because you didn't skip a full day. Heyois, you sailed by day, so Melo, you never missed that day in Gansen. You missed the night, but you did the day. So you didn't skip it legamri. It's not a full skip. So Melo, mikan ve'elich, you could do it. So the Trumas Hadeshen, like so, not only that, but even if you have a suffix, it's a svek. But in the case where you sailed by day, you sailed Sfirat by day, then you didn't skip a day b'chlal. You didn't skip a full day. So the Pri Chodosh, he brings down the Trumas Hadeshen, he's matmiyah. I said, what does it mean you didn't skip a full day? If by day Sfiras Yom is not a Sfir, you skipped it. It's nothing. So weißt du is that if you hold like the Bahag, then the Pshat is like a state in Toys for Stake. They hold like the Bahag, if you hold like the Bahag Taka says, Bahag, if you do it by day, it's Meker Adin, it's not Mekoyach Sofik. The Bahag is not being mistapik, then maybe you hold like the Ben Tam. The Bahag holds you should make a Sfira by Yom. And the Pshat L'chayre is like Toys says, in Menachis Ta Samach Vav, because he's choishish for the stomach in Menachis, which says that but the evidence is kosher. But the evidence taka bleibt a svira. So you do a cipher. So you didn't skip a day because you taka did by day. Because by the day the shaila is, so why don't you make a bracha? If it's taka kiyum, and svira sa'omer, but the eved, so why don't you make a bracha? Those are the shaila on Tosfos.
But it's a suffix if you hold like that.
Who, the Bahag?
Yeah.
We're going to the Bahag himself.
No, but the way we go, so it's
we have a suffix.
Yeah, but since we have a suffix, so that's why he.
But he's saying
but I'm saying the Bahag himself. The Bahag himself said you should be safe for the next day. B'loi bracha. Now the Bahag himself wasn't the super Tam. He knew what he held. And of them get the Trumas Adeshin, and Trumas Adeshin says that he's like Diligam Mechal Lagamri. You don't come on to a suffix. You didn't skip the day. If you didn't skip the day, that means you obviously, like Tosfos says in Menachos, that the Pshat is that you hold the Stam Mishnah in Menachos. So you have the mitzvah. And the emes is that the Goyin says that the Pshat in the Mechaber is we'll pass like the Bahag. Like Tosfos says, you pass like the Bahag. You pass like the Bahag, so make a bracha. But then the Bahag tells us to make a bracha. So what's the Pshat in the Bahag Alein? Those are the Shaila. Is on this Shaila, Shanda Teretz, the Mordechai, I realize the whole Mordechai because it's important the first part of the Mordechai from where I want to go. The Mordechai starts off and he says, Kol alay l'kosh l'ktziras ha'omer l'svira l'hekta chalavim v'hilchas ha'ka'ach stama the balay l'isa v'loy bayoyim. So the Mordechai, the halach is like this stama that all these mitzvahs are balay and not bayoyim. There's no shning as ktsir bayoyim. The kain kosa bahag. He brings the bahag that the bahag is passing like the stama in Megillah. Mish loy birich al sviras ha'omer balayla lo yivorich bayoyim me'ach stama de Megillah. Now he's arguing on Tosfos in Menachos, who says that the Bahag Paskin is like the stam of the Menachos. The Mordechai says he paskin like this stam. The Kinim Perik Oimed, Laila Dumi the Yoim, Ma the Yoim, Laila Loy, Af Laila, Yoim the Basrei, Pasl. Vechein, Pirish Menetam. Means the Bahag and the Menetam are the same thing, same Shita. That's the Akdom. So, I want to leave that on the side, we'll get back to it in a minute. But then he brings down, Kvar Shol, Reb Yaakov, Reb Yokir. Mishloi Pirich Balayla, Ma'u Sheyivorich Bayoim. So on, that didn't make a bracha balayla, what's about making a bracha bayom? V'heishiv, schar svira yavinalei, schar svira bezmanoi, lo yavinalei. This was the tshuva that Ben Yaakov ben Rabbi Yoker answered to the question. You have the schar of svira, but you don't have schar of svira bezmanoi. So the Mordechai, ve'ein hadover yodua, im omar lem lispa lemachar ulevarich, or lispa b'lai bracha. It wasn't clear what the tshuva was. That was what he answered. He answered, you have a schar svira, but no schar svira bezmanoi. And they weren't sure what he meant to say by that. Should you make a bracha, or you shouldn't make a bracha? He brings down, but Yomi, the vada kiloi birich balay lo yivorich bayoim. Because the chash zrach levatala. Al moinim b'lay bracha. V'lulei shakasha be'ein of lach loig ala bahag, if he wouldn't have such a big problem arguing with the bahag, or Yomi, that Yomi would have said, levorich bayoim, that every time he's still doing the mitzvah, you make a bracha. Means like this. The way Rabbi Yaakov and Rabbi Yoker said that you're getting a mitzvah the next day, you don't have a bracha, but you don't have a mitzvah of zman. What does that mean? What does mean this? So we have different types of mitzvahs that have zman. Moshel Pesach by night is a mitzvah to eat matzah. You didn't eat matzah Pesach by night. You can't eat matzah the following week to make up for it. On the gay of zman the bottle kabban, you can't correct it anymore. It's too late. There are mitzvahs that have a zman, that if you miss the zman, you do a shleib zman. Bris Milah has a zman, you miss the 8th day, you do it 9th day, 10th day, you do it weiter. Because you still can do the mitzvah. So if you can still do the mitzvah the following day, so then that's a mitzvah. You're doing the mitzvah of Sfiras Aimer. If you're doing the mitzvah of Sfiras Aimer, so Rav Yos, I don't know why you don't make a bracha. So he doesn't really have pshat in the suffix that they have in the back of Rav Yos, because he's doing the mitzvah. But he said you don't make a bracha because let's be worried about the bahag. The bahag shita is the chashita that you're not being yaitz any mitzvah b'chlal because you only do by night. So maybe that's why you don't make a bracha. So, but just for shitas Tosfos, we have the Ben Yaakov ben Rav Yoker and the Mordechai that says that if doing the mitzvah shleib bezman is a suffix bracha, so if you make a bracha, the Rav Yoker versteht es nicht. So kapon we're asking a kash of the Rav Yoker, but it's a kash that the Rav Yoker has in the Mordechai. But I want to answer, I think even a better kash. Good, das hat man schon in Geschehen reden wegen dem. Loit, the Mordechai is bahag. Sfiras Yom is nothing. We pass like the Stam Megillah. And the bahag still said that if you didn't make a bracha by night, make Sfiras Yom by day without a bracha. Now I know why you don't make a bracha, because you're not doing a mitzvah. But I don't know why you're making Sfiras Yom by day. You're not doing anything. And not only that, you see from the bahag holds that if you don't make Sfiras Yom by day, the following day you can't go weiter. You're done. The mitzvah's over. Like the bahag shita that he holds is all one big mitzvah. And the bahag holds that if you did it by day, you can go weiter. You don't do by day, which is not a mitzvah. So what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? It's Sfiras Yom by day. It's not a mitzvah. And why is that accomplished? That Mekan Lahodi can make a bracha and you go weiter in the mitzvah. You're not doing Sfiras Yom. You skip the day. The Sfiras Yom is l'chayr garnished. That's the shaila that I wanted to tell on the Mordechai Shittas Bahag.
But 30 years counting.
What?
The rate is the rate.
What?
No, he's saying the rate.
As what?
That you can't have the next day without the counter day.
Yeah, but what's not counting, L'chayra? The kid...
No, but at least it's okay.
Da bisschen zu putzen nach Wort. Is that it?
Not for doctor, he don't skate.
No,
They couldn't get 30, they'd be out
What was I
29
saying?
days.
What is that?
Is that it? The halacha, the Mechaber brings down that if somebody asks you, what's tonight's svira? Mishal loisech aveda ben hashmoshes kama yemei svira zeh alayla. Yomer et malaya kach v'kach. Don't tell him what which day it is. Say yesterday was the 10th day. And he'll figure out himself that today's the 11th day. Shem yomer loy, hayom kach v'kach, eini yochel lachze v'limnes v'bracha. Koyde ben hashmoshes, you can do it. That's the Mechaber. So the Mishnah says, why can't you go weit and say with a bracha? I was saying we can't sell that night with a bracha. Why not? Shekvar yotza b'zeh yidei sviras haim. L'man da'omar mitzvahs ein tzrichas kavana. So te va'av da'anan kaimalon de tzrichas kavana. So what's the problem? V'zeh alilich even lot says he was just telling him what's tonight's sviras haim. So k'tel in yin bracha tzorach lahachmer v'lochish lahachdeye v'lo yivorech al sviras shim nachakach. Okay. So mainly is remarkable on the man that holds mitzvah saying striches kavana. Sagt der Mr. Bruder, wie ich oid eitze. She haben befeide shaloi lotzis bazeh yidei svira. You should have in mind not to be eitze. We always know. In every mitzvah, if you have in mind, even if you hold mitzvah ain't striches kavana, if you mechaven shaloi lotzis, you pick up a lulav and estrig and you mechaven shaloi lotzis, it bleibt selber l'siyos, steht in Tarisvis. You make a brach and mechaven shaloi lotzis, then you say, now I want to be eitze. It's over l'siyos. Even if you hold mitzvahs ain't strict, you don't need kavanah for the mitzvah, but you can't get the mitzvah bal karcha. Arich is wegen them, Shleima Asteirin, Sukkah wegen them, but you can't get a mitzvah bal karcha. The other thing, bal karcha you can't do a mitzvah. It's forced mitzvah you can't do. So you have to say eitza. Pashta eitza happens to all mitzvah. So somebody asks you what's tonight's sviras aimer, can say hinni muchen and zumen shloi lekai mitzvah say shal sviras aimer, and then tell them whichever night it is. Not a problem. The HaRav brings b'shem the Rash HaLevi that he is on the Agudah that gives the eitzah. You say yesterday was kach v'kach. Lama loy nos na Agudah tikin sheyichamish le'lotzis. Why didn't he give this eitzah? Pashta eitzah. Shtabir's eitzah. V'tiritz the ula la yizke sheyichamish le'lotzis. The Rash HaLevi answers maybe he would forget to mechaven that. So te v'deichik. And he has daiti zokte of them the HaRav loy dok. Da rei muchach da Agudah svir alei. The av shloim shemechaven shloi lotzis yotza. Sharei ois limnis ematzibe b'loi bracha b'oif in the sift le'el. The sift previously in the Lavush is talking about a case that somebody comes to Bes Medrash. Maybe it's maybe an early Shabbos or something, and they're making Sfiras Ayman still before the Zman. Shal, what should you do? Should you sail with them or not? So the Lavush gives the eitzah. He says that you should sail with them and you should have in mind like this. If I remember later to make Sfiras Ayman, that I'm not being Yoitzer right now, and I'll make a bracha later on, and make Sfiras Ayman later. And if I forget later on, I'm going to be Saimach on this Sfira that I'm doing right now. But yeah, it's a good Sfira. That's the eitzah of the Lavush. Zog the HaRav that the Avudah didn't give that eitzah. You know why? Because the Avudah held that if someone machamash leilotzis, he's Yoitzer anyway. And that's why the Avudah didn't give this eitzah over here. When someone asks you what's tonight's Omer, you have in mind not to be Yoitzer, because it won't help you. You're going to be Yoitzer anyway. So, what?
It's a different
How do you have it?
Tusel and not the Yaitza. Being Yaitza on tonight is not the same thing as.
He says maybe that's the pshat. He says I'm muchach. Maybe he holds tonight. That's a.
Not to be mice. If indeed you're counting, but at the end of the day, you're doing the mice. So
every mitzvah you do not see Mike Shek take a little bit of
No, but you're not doing it for that. There's no other reason for counting.
Where? Which case?
You're giving the day a label. You're labeling the day as this is the 29th day of the Yomi. So at the end of the day, it's not the pick up a little bit. I'm saying I'm doing it for something else.
What are you doing? What are you saying? I'm picking it up just to show for someone to mouth my lulav? That's not what you're doing. I don't want to be Yoitzer right now. I want to make Oibel Atziyotza.
Not to be Yoitzer the mitzvah.
Because I don't want to be Yoitzer. I'm picking it up I'm making the bracha. I don't want to turn it upside down, my esrik. I have a different Yoitzer. I hold it straight up. I'm a chavish loilotzis. I make the bracha. So if you're mechaber lot, you don't get the mitzvah.
Okay, but there's a ma'aseh yad that's being associated. Here it's machshavah that essentially.
Let's say beferish. I don't want to be yoitz. Ich will nicht yoitz sein.
What?
What?
What was the? How does that what Trump say by Lulav?
Didn't check it out.
No, the Gemara says over here, you make the Gemara, the Lavush, whoever it is, says you make a bracha and you mechaven shalei lotzes.
Wait. No, you make a bracha.
No bracha.
No bracha. Kodim Zman, you don't make a bracha. It's not because you want to make a night. You're trying to make the lachatchila.
But you can make it bizman, but in case it was not bizman, so how do you make a bracha later?
Because mechaven shalei lotzes, it made it night. You make it betchila. Make betchila, you make without a bracha. And you say beferish, listen, like, if I remember later on,
If I remember later on,
then this shloi lotzes. If I don't remember later on, then I'll do it. Then this should be my thing.
you have a tanai in the kavanah.
The tnai. So that he's bavarns afterwards. That could be like the same before. That could be that he has a problem with a tnai. A tnai in a sfira. So Charles, what's the machuven over here that kavanah shloi lotzes over here will be different? It's not a pel de kashita in the Rishonim. The chinuch brings down Medini mitzvah ma'asha amru zechreinim levracha shemitzvah l'noisam be'erev k'dei shiur tmimis. You have to tell by night, so it should be full days. K'mashama akas of tmimis tiyana. V'amru zechreinim levracha emasayim heim tmimis. When are they complete? V'zman shemaschel be'erev mikol makom pirsham afarshim sheim shochach v'loy mana be'erev. If you forgot and you didn't count at night, moina l'mocha kol hayom. Yours. Farshim is back. That you do it the next day, you can make sfirim the next day. V'yeisha amru, shemisha shokach v'leimana yoyim echad. If you skip the full day, she'eini yochel limnois oid b'oisa shana, lefisha kula mitzvah achasi. It's all one big mitzvah. You miss one day, you miss the whole year. You're done for that year. U'mekivat sheshokach mehem yoyim echad, arei kol ha'cheshem batal minan. V'lo yehoidu ma'ireinu shebedereinu l'svarazu. Now, in the old chinuch, this is where the chinuch stopped. And this is the Taisvis. She's a Taisvis. Taisvis holds that bag is one big shita, and the Rebbein Tam argues doesn't hold it. It doesn't hold it. The new chinuch they bring down. Shuvas Hagoyim brings this shita. Elamisha shokach yoyim echad yoymer emesh hoyakach v'kach b'loy bracha u'moyna achedim kol Yisrael. You skip a day. The next day you say yesterday was number 15, and you go back to today. Make a yom today 16. I'm not sure how weit this goes.
No, completely the next
day.
You could say yesterday was the Ritzgayas. Okay. Any time during the next day.
I'm not sure how weit this goes. Could be you could stand. I'm not sure how weit this goes. Could be this goes even 3-4 days. I don't know. You could get up and say that 5 days ago was 15 and 4 days. And this is l'chayr mamash apel. You're not saying Sfiras Ha'omer. What's this mahalach of saying yesterday was kach v'kach? What is this b'chlal? It's like this. The Minchas Chinuch, he brings down these two tztadim. He didn't have this gears over here. Minchas Chinuch has these two tztadim. Is it one big mitzvah, one continuous mitzvah, or every single mitzvah, every night its own mitzvah? And he declares a shayla. And he mesupik. If you have somebody that was a cotton, he became a godel in the middle of Sfiras Ha'omer, or you have an eved that was neshtacher in the middle of Sfiras Ha'omer, and he sailed the first nights, and then afterwards he became a godel. The shayla question is: should he make a bracha? Does that he did when he was a cotton, or that he did when he was an eved, was any mitzvah voice? Does it help for b'shas that he's a godel or not? And he says that that's another portion. What he did when he was a cotton, that for sure helps when he's a godel. He brings rayas that brachas that you make. Sheina mechuyev, but mechuyev with the rabbanon can help for their rises. But by a eved, shneshtacher, that when he was making a bracha, when he was an eved, that was tam eine mitzvah v'oisa, like a isha. There's no mitzvah chinuchim, no the rabbanon. Does that help when he became meshuchrer that he can now make a bracha with the reise? Zok what's the shaila? Mi neima the mechiyev ubeptor talya milsa. V'kivan shay beptor av shamana mikomakim kivan shmitzvas achasi mekoydem lenischayev gamata in mechayev in Torah. Since the beginning you missed, you couldn't get. There was no chiyum der reisa. The chiyum der reisa doesn't start now. He doesn't have a Teiris mitzvah because you missed the first half. He still have the cheshbon. And he goes into Arichas wegen dem, and he brings down and he says that the din zeme yevomis Pashas the Raya brings out how sharp the chinuch held of this word. The Gemara says in Yevomis that somebody has children when he's a goy, and afterwards he's in this guy he doesn't have mitzvahs pruravu. Why? Because he has children. Has the goy and his goyish children on the siach HaRav. Mainly he has children. So there it says he brings down the Turiev and he found a shayla. He says, what happened? What do you mean you had children when you were a goy? You weren't mechuyev to have children when you were a goy. If somebody was oichel matzah when he was meshuga, then he got better overnight. He got better, or he was a cheresh, and then he was spakach. He has to eat matzah again. He did it b'shas aptur. So what does it help that you had goyim when you had children when you were a goy? Zokdav ain't that there's no shaykh, different types of mitzvahs. If the mitzvah is the ma'isa, and you do the ma'isa b'shas, you're not mechuyev, you didn't do anything. You did it b'shas, you were a shoyti, you were a cheresh, your cotton is gone shketan. You didn't do a ma'isa mitzvah b'chlal. But mashenke in the mitzvah of having children, the ma'isa of having children is a hechsher mitzvah. The mitzvah is having the children. It's a kiyah mitzvah, and a chiyah mitzvah b'chol rega v'rega. V'haraya bring them. Because if the children die, you become mechuyev to have more children. You don't become, it's a kseyah the kiyum in that you have children. The chiv that the person has is to have children. The mice is not a hechsher mitzvah. Mainly, he did it b'shas good, but right now he has children. So he has children. So mainly that's why he's able to. He was the to the mitzvah with the children that he had begay yusa. As if emphet mechaschinach to the Evans kash. So that's the word over here also. He says when somebody tells svira when he was a eved, when he was a cotton, so there he has the cheshbon. Means he's looking at the cheshbon of Sfiras HaOmer, that when someone's doing the ma'isa mitzvah of Sfira, it's like a hechsher mitzvah. The tzuras mitzvah is tispru 50 yom. You should have the cheshbon of 50 days biyodai. That's the tzuras mitzvah. The way to do it is by the ma'isa. Zogt the mechaschinah. If someone does when he's a goy, when he's an evet, and then he's the shtachrer, is a bazoi hot the cheshbon. He has the cheshbon. On the dinner, he names on that a person that the stacher in the middle, he should go back with a bracha and mechuyev the reise. Koif na mitzvahs. He's mechuyev because he has the cheshbon and it's the guy for him to do it. Yeah, while the mitzvah is to come to the cheshbon of 50 days. I think Lefi says Poshit was the pshat in this mechudesh the keshita of the chinuch that the chinuch brings down. You say etmol hayakach v'kach means avad is no ma'isa mitzvah. He done. He missed the day. Oh, but the cheshbon you have. When I tell Avek that last week Tuesday was number 15, hast du gemacht, das ist der cheshbon hayomim. He didn't do the ma'isa ketzura also, the ma'isa mitzvah, b'chlal he didn't do the ma'isa mitzvah, it's the following day. Oh, but etman hayakach v'kach, du machst the cheshbon hayomim, you make an accounting of the days, and that's the tzuras mitzvah. So Mela today you can do the ma'isa mitzvah and go weiter. V'yachshav kol Yisrael, you can be able to keep on going weiter.
With the bracha?
With the bracha. You hit the bracha the next day. Because you have the cheshbon. As long as you have the cheshbon, then doing a ma'isa mitzvah today, you're able to do it.
Could it go back more than one day?
I don't know. I always thought, yeah. I don't know why not. I don't know why not. It doesn't say. It only says one day. No, I'll start. I'll do it in order. I can't till number 4. I'm holding number 15. I'll say 10 days ago was number 5. 9 days. I'll cheshbon. I'll cheshbon the whole thing up. Then I'll hold by today. I'll make the brach and I'll go today. What do you mean? I didn't count it. I don't know what the shir is. Maybe you can get up and face right before this man on Shavuos. Sfiras HaOmer and do the whole thing.
What's the dimmy to the goy? I didn't hear that clear.
But I'm saying because over there also the ma'isa the cheshbon of yom you have. The Yisrael mitzvah is to have the cheshbon of yom. The ma'isa mitzvah that you do is a certain ma'isa. If you take your shtei sfat machem tmimas, do it by night. That's the way to accomplish the cheshbon of yom. Aber what's the ma'isa mitzvah? The ma'isa mitzvah is the ma'isa sfira. Now you can't do the ma'isa mitzvah the following day. You can't do the ma'isa mitzvah when you're a goy. You can't do the ma'isa what's in your habit. You can't do the ma'isa. Oh, but the cheshbon yom can be there. It means just like someone that has children when he's a goy, he doesn't have a kiyah mitzvah. But as soon as he becomes a yid, he comes with tzuvah to help kinder. He has kids. It's a mitzvah every second.
But if every day is a mitzvah, how can you go back? Monday was the second.
He's not doing the mitzvah now. But he's creating that he has the cheshbon. The mitzvah is to count that day in the cheshbon. As long as you have the cheshbon, you're okay. Now, I have a problem. I missed the day. So I have to get the cheshbon. So I'll start off, I'll say, yesterday was the... Now I'm in the cheshbon. The days are accounted. Once it's accounted, and I'm doing the mitzvah today, right now, counting today. Because I'm back in the cheshbon. I have the full accounting.
It's only good for this day that I'm counting. No, it's good for that day that you're counting now. As is an oiske cheshbon.
Right. About there's no ma'aseh mitzvah of saying etmal lekach v'kach. Right, it's a chtim to have the cheshbon.
But if it would be one big mitzvah, then it's like if it's one big mitzvah, so you don't have before, but you can have it today.
Can man verstehen, sehr Geschmack schatten da wo der Rahmen für der Rasch Levi. That's a little bit what you were saying before. If somebody says, "Henni mochen mazumen shaloi lekayim mitzvah," you can't get a mitzvah al korcha. You can't get a mitzvah al korcha. The day is a cheshbon, but you cheshbon today. It's a cheshbon den Tag. You said that today is like Boimen. Today, you can't sell sweet anymore. The mitzvah is to create the cheshbon, to make the account. You count. It's an accounted day. You can't just machen kein Brach yet. I didn't get a mitzvah. You're not getting a mitzvah. You're not going to get the mitzvah. Oh, but cheshbon den Tag yedos. Can't just machen kein Brach. So the fees there, ducht sich as mamish posh pshat in the shittas habahag according to the Mordechai. Avade by day, you can't do the ma'aseh mitzvah. Torah zok tmimis. Tmimis mean balayla. You missed by night, you can't do the mitzvah anymore. Sokt the Rabbi the bahag, you can still take cheshbon on the day. The ma'aseh mitzvah is by night, but it's still the same day. Even without the chiddush, what state in the chinuch, that you can go to follow it the next day and say, well, yeah, the previous day was. But you're still cheshboning the days because it's still the same day. So that's what the Trumas Nation says. The Trumas Nation, hoyel shaloi dilig yemechad lagamri. You didn't completely skip that day. You counted on that day. The ma'aseh mitzvah is like you should do by night. You didn't do the ma'aseh mitzvah. Oh, but hagecheshbon tag yidos. So you didn't do by night. You should do by day without a bracha. What's to tell us? Nothing for today. Today's not the day. You're not getting a mitzvah. No mitzvah b'chlal. Oh, but the next day you'll be able to go weiter because the bahag holds it's all one big counting, one big accounting, and you're able to accomplish the accounting through the fact that you're counting by day. Also you can sein pshat in the bahag.
And you get mimis.
I get mimis, yeah, you get mimis. The ebige chiddush that the chinuch says that the bahag is weiß nicht as. He holds that's already too late. Avos man, you're already too late.
If you could be moitzi somebody in the day, lefizeh.
What do you mean?
Let's say in the day lefida bahag, could I count it and say I'm being moitzi somebody else? Let's say I say it, and I want to be moitzi him. He should hear it. Is it a mitzvah or is it only a cheshbon?
Same, but let's say by night.
At night you could be moitzi somebody through
how do you get the cheshbon by night? If you can only do mitzvahs, you can't do cheshbonis. Then how can you moitzi somebody? The mitzvah means the cheshbon.
The mitzvah is the mitzvah in them. So
why is this good, man?
What's taka pshat?
I would say why is this cheshbon good?
Could you be moitzi?
Yes, bist du, ich stell das du dein cheshbonis. Ich stell, bist doch mein Accountant. Ich will masken, was du sagst. Sag mir bitte, tell me where to sign. I'm done.
Yeah, say a word.
It's Agudah. The passage past week starts off. It says, "Vaydaber Elokim el Moshe v'yemer Elov ani Hashem v'er el Avram el Yitzchak el Yankev v'kel Shakai u'shmi Hashem l'nadati lohem." Starts off telling Moshe Rabbeinu, "Ich bin Hashem." And he said, I plugged to the office. I came to the office. I didn't tell them my name was Hashem. It was Bekel Shakai. Gam Kmoisi es Brisi Tom Los Islam es Eretz Knan es Eretz Mugurei Mashagorba. Gam Ni Shamati es Nakas Bnei Yisrael Shmetzrim Avida Moisam Veske es Brisi. L'chein Amoy Bnei Yisrael Ani Hashem. V'tzeis Yois Eschem Mitach Asivlis Mitzrayim. V'tzalti Eschem V'galti Eschem. V'kachti V'veisi Alt. Is Rashi learns up what does mean Ani Hashem? Neman L'Shalom Schar. Shem Hashem is Moire, and the Eibur says Neman L'Shalom Schar. And he says that when I came to the office, I didn't tell them my name is Hashem. I didn't teach them the name my name Hashem. I gave them promises. I never kept my promises. But you're going to see my promises being kept. You're going to see Ani Hashem. you're going to see the koyach of the Eibishter, that Eibishter makes a promise, like Moisi as Brisi, that I keep my promise. So Rashi, that this pshat, he's bringing so the Koravlin is a shamatim b'parash zum mit Aborach b'Rablozor v'hevirayim v'mikra zeh he brought a raya from a posik b'pam azois posik in Yechezkel pam azois ediyem es yodi v'es gvorosiv yodi kishmi Hashem. When the Eibishter shows his gvura and shows what he's doing, damals you see the Shem Hashem. Shem Hashem is neman l'kayim dvorov. L'madnu k'shakadosh Baruch Hu ma'amen es dvorov afilu proni is mediyah sheshmoy Hashem. That's the Shem Hashem. V'kolshkin amon l'toiva. Rabbi Tzenu Dorshu, the Gemara in Sanhedrin says a different mahalach. L'inyan shal malo. Shama Moshe, lama ariyois lama zeh. Moshe Rabbeinu complained, Kaviyachol to Beriyoilam, and he said, lama ariyoisa, lama zeh, why did you do bad to this nation? Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu chaval davin l'mishtachin. Yesh l'tzoyin al misas ha'ovis. Harbi pom medreisi aleim, bekel shakai, v'lo yamru li, ma shimcha. They never asked me what my name is. V'ato amarto ma shmoi, ma amer aleim. When he asked him, when the Klal Yisrael asked me, what's my name? What should I tell them? And I told you, tell them my name is Hashem. He couldn't find a kever for his wife. What do you mean? We're supposed to get the whole Eretz Yisrael. And there was an ear on the Beidis. You're saying Lamar Yoisa. He says, the pshat I can't fit in the psukim with this. Because, first of all, what did it say? It shouldn't say, I didn't tell them. He says, and besides, the Eibishter did tell them. The Eibishter came to Avram Avinu. He says, I'm the one who took you out. He said, my name is Hashem. So he says, I don't know what's the Gemara, how it fits al derech pshat. What's it maybe b'derech efshir? Well, what's the hemshech psukim in this idea? In the pasuk it says, last week's parasha, that the Eibishter came to Moshe Rabbeinu. He told him, go to the Yidden Mitzrayim and tell them I'm taking them out of Mitzrayim. Poku divka Hashem escha. Moshe Rabbeinu tells them, they're not going to believe me. The Eibishter says, no, they're going to believe you. He goes to Mitzrayim. It says in pasuk, v'yamin om. The folk believed Moshe Rabbeinu. See later on, goes through a whole tkufa, lange yor, makis. See Mitzrayim, Kriyas Yamsuf. Klal Yisrael comes to the Yamsuf, and they go in, they come out, and the Mitzrayim cut Spirat on the side of the Yam. It says in pasuk, v'yaminu b'Hashem Moshe Avdei. So the kasha in the Rishonim already, there's the kasha. What do you mean? Now v'yaminu b'Hashem Moshe Avdei? What was till now? They saw everything. They saw the ganze Bri is nothing for the Eibishter. Tam, Tzvadei, Kinim, they saw everything. Now v'yaminu b'Hashem Moshe Avdei. What happened now? What happened now? The Ran says in Tasanta Teres, the Ran says that Metchila, they believed everything. Because Klal Yisrael doesn't aminim. But then everything looked very fishy. The whole Yitzias Mitzrayim was very, very modern. It was a modern Maisa. Tell them going out for 3 days. I mean, they said we're going out of Mitzrayim. Go to Paris. They were leaving. We're not coming back. Finished. What's this 3 days business? The whole thing. They said Berchush Gadol. What's Vayishalom? You're going to borrow? What are you going to borrow? Tell them. The Eibishter said we're getting your Rechush. Give it to us. Finished. They should give it. What was this whole Ma'aseh Gneva? It says afterwards, when they came to the Yamsuf, they saw that the Eibishter wanted to get them in Mitzrayim to run after them into the Yamsuf, so he should be able to drown them, because Mida can get Mida, what he did to them, then they chapped that everything gave it a chesh. But that's a shit around. They came back to the original Amunah. But there's a beautiful shtickle from Reb Itzler. The business says a beautiful pshat. Please the Gemara Pesachim Kuf Yud Ches. Amar Rav Huna Yisrael Sheba'isei Adon Mekatnei Amonohoy. They were small believers. K'dedoger Shraba Baramori. Ma'idich se vayimru al yam b'Yamsuf. Malamed shehimru Yisrael ba'Yisrael Shah. When Klal Yisrael came out of the Yamsuf, they were somewhat lefima de rusam koifer b'Hashem v'amru kishem she'anu oil mitzad echod kach Mitzrayim oil mitzad acher. Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu l'sa'ashri yam ploitay som liyabosha. Spit them out. Ubo Yisrael v'roa isam. They recognized the Mitzrayim. Shenema v'ya Yisrael Mitzrayim etzas hayom. Damals vayinim Hashem Moshe Avdei. See, the Rebbe tells us what's the lashon of mekatnei amonoy. They were small maminim. Moshe Rabbeinu told Klal Yisrael, "Kasher isem Mitzrayim isem oil." You're not going to see them again. Klal Yisrael walks out, the first thing they say is, no, they're coming out the other side. What's Mekatnei Amon? You don't believe one word he's saying. Doch gesagt nicht. What's Mekatnei Amon? Sagt der Bitzel, Adova Neure. Sagt der Bitzel, that Klal Yisrael had a Madreges Amuna von Klorkeit. They knew that Mayim can sein Dam and Oriv mit Devem, mit Shchin. They knew everything is possible. It could be a Yam, and the next minute it's Yavosha. They saw everything. They had total, complete Amunah. But what they didn't believe was like this. To Klal Yisrael, everything they saw till then made sense. They were stuck in Mitzrayim. They were getting severely panicked by the Mitzrayim. And there's a din and there's a dayan. And the Eibishter said that, something, there's a day of judgment. You have to get paid for what you did. And they deserve to get back what they give. And it was all Midah Keneged Midah, Medrashim, everything was always gecheshbon. Exactly, they saw exactly. But then it came a member from Moshe Rabbeinu that mamash they couldn't understand. They said, Mitzrayim is over. There's no Mitzrayim, they're all getting killed. They knew what they were holding when they were in Mitzrayim. Halal v'halal, halal v'halal, they're both by the Zohar. They knew they were memta sharituma. It made no sense to them that the Eibishter would kill out a Ummah Shleima for them. It made zero sense to them. Zog der Bitzel, that's Mekatnei Amon. A small believer is someone believes the Eibishter is called Yachal. But he believes the Eibishter will do something that makes sense. That the Eibishter do something that makes no sense for the Aitom, that's called a small believer. Mekatnei Amon. Mekatnei Amon. When Eibishter went and he told the Sarah Yom, spit them out, v'yaminu b'Hashem. Loi machshavoisai, machshavoiseichem. No Hashem. This is the shame Hashem is when things stop making sense and you believe in the Eibishter where it doesn't make sense to you. Not what you know. Where it doesn't make sense to you. That's where Amunah starts. Yadua, Shach, in Hilchas Tshuva brings down that he says that Rambam in Yad, when he talks about the mitzvah Amunah, he says Leida sheyesh mamtzi l'chol motzui. Everything that exists has a mamtzi, has a creator. He's used the lashon of Leida, knowledge. You know. So there, why is the mitzvah the Rambam calls Sefer mitzvah a mitzvah l'hamen? Amunah. That's not Amunah. It's knowledge. It means if I'm sitting over here, I know that there's a mic over here. Why? Because I see it. Now I could believe that it's wireless because I don't see, but I don't know. Maybe there's something in the floor. That's something belief. Belief you don't see. Knowledge is what you see. So the B'Shach said he says when you see something in this world, you see your finger. You know that there was a creator to this finger. There's a bira, there's a Baal bira. Anything that's a creation had a creator. He said, if the Rambam Yad makes sense. Leida sheyesh mamtzi l'chol motzui. Anything that's a creation has a creator. You see a picture on the wall. There was somebody a molech. There was somebody that drew it. Anything, you see a tree growing, and that works with all types of intricate systems and photosynthesis is happening on the leaf. You know that someone created that. It didn't happen by itself. You know. So what's the Amunah? Where's belief coming? Biskarov said, he has the kash to Reb Chaim. Reb Chaim said, you're right. That's Leida. Amunah starts where Yediyah stops. Where Yediyah stops, where the person is limited in Yediyah. Is he limited in Yediyah to dimensions that he sees in this world, to time and space, and that's where a person's Yediyah is limited to. To believe in Beirei Olam is where your seichel can't be nitfas. In Shuvas HaRav, he says that the Choyves Amunah is machayev a person to believe the Eibush is a roichev and a roichev at the same time. Or something a seichel can't be toifus. That's where Amunah starts. The mitzvah Amunah is after what you do. We're after our seichel can't be toifus. Where our seichel is toifus? That's Leida. As long as we can see it. Versteht? That's the idea. Amunah starts afterwards. The Aminu B'Hashem Moshe Avdoi, the pshat is the Shem Hashem is Moire, Le Machshavoisai, Machshavoiseichem. It makes no sense. That's where Amunah is. Maybe you can say it's a beautiful pshat in the Psukim. Fiya in the Gemara. The Avis, the Eibishter came to them, he told them, Bekel Shakai. He told them, you're getting Eretz Yisrael, it's all going to be yours. It's all going to be yours. And they didn't question, Ma Shimcha? What's your name? Welche Midah? Shemus of the Eibishter is Kiyadua, the Midas from the Eibishter. Which Midah is this going to be? The Eibishter said. The next day, you're trying to get a burial plot for Sarah, and it's a cost of a Megan. The Eibishter gesagt, what's enough Gemina? It's weiter, geht weiter. Moshe Rabbeinu came to the Eibishter and he said, when the Klal Yisrael asks me, what's your name? What should I tell them? His name means Welche Midah. Welche Midah is the Eibishter. He said, you tell him my name is Hashem. The Midah Hashem is Moire. Loi machshavoyse machshavoysecha. He told him, you're never going to understand. You're not going to understand. You want to know welche Midah? A Midah von nicht verstehen. Sagt der Eibishter zu Moshe Rabbeinu, Chaval da Avna v'loi mishtakchi. I never told them that I'm giving to them what a Midah not going to understand. And they didn't understand, and ask questions. And by you, I told you the Midah that I'm going to take them out of Mitzrayim is a Midah for not understanding. You're never going to understand. Bis vi a Midah b'Hashem l'b'soif. When they believe that's dog, man can't verkolish verstehen. The Eibishter killed the ganze Mitzrayim for Klal Yisrael. That was a Midah b'Hashem. I told you before, that's the Shem Hashem. And the first thing they don't understand, you ask a question. Lama Ariyos, Lama Azeh. Those gewinnt Chaval da Abend, Lema Stark, and nefst das a Pshat in the Gemara. Was the Eibishter told Moshe Rabbeinu, Agudah Woche.
I'm a little different. I said you can't have day 30 without